We are well into spring here in eastern North Carolina. The weather has been heating up very quickly, and along with the warm weather brings new life in our plants, in our animals, and just everything around the farm. We have thoroughly been enjoying all of the new life that this season brings, seeing all of the green around us and all of the cute baby animals that come along with it. I mean, is there anything cuter than a baby bunny or a baby sheep? We've shared a couple of glimpses into this baby season with you guys in past videos, but I wanted to pick the camera up today and give you guys an update of what all is going on here on the farm. At the time of recording this video, it is Friday. So early Sunday morning, I woke up and saw that there was an extra baby out in the sheep's pen. So I slipped on my boots really fast, ran out to see what was going on because I knew that our sheep, Bammy, was really close to having babies and I wanted to make sure that everything was okay. There was already a lamb standing up, walking around the pasture with her. Now, she was extremely large, so I knew that she couldn't have only had one baby. So once I got in the sheep pen, I started to investigate, looking around to see if there were any other babies. And lo and behold, there was one little baby inside of the sheep shed all by itself. I grabbed the little guy and tried to reunite with Mom, and at this point Mom was headbutting and nudging him away and acting like she didn't know who he was. So I knew immediately that we had some sort of problem on our hands. I had heard of mothers rejecting one or some of their young if they're just not great mothers, or if the baby is a runt or has something wrong with it. But from what I could tell, there was nothing wrong with the lamb, and the mom had plenty of milk to spare. So I did my best to try to reunite them and try to form that bond within the first few minutes of birth, hoping that their relationship could be salvaged. I decided to get a halter around the mom and tie her up inside of the sheep shed and try to get the baby to nurse off the mom, because at this point I wasn't sure that he had had anything to drink. And within the first few hours of life, getting that colostrum in their system is vital for their survival. She was not thrilled with me to put a harness on her and tie her up, but I thought this was going to be for the baby's good and for her good. Though she is our most shy sheep here in our flock, this was quite the undertaking to get a hold of her and to tie her up. I'm pretty sure she's the biggest sheep in our flock as well. She probably outweighs me by a good 60 or 70 pounds, and she definitely has more strength than I do. But I got her tied up and I got the baby onto her. She was kicking and screaming, and she was really unhappy about the situation. We did some force feeding for a little bit throughout the first day of the baby's life. I would untie the mom, let her smell the lamb again, and we were not making any progress. After spending the entire day repeating this same process over and over again, I made a judgment call at the end of the day to relieve the efforts of trying to force this mom into feeding this baby, and it was mostly for the safety of the baby because the mom was being pretty brutal. And I heard from a sheep mentor that, you know, them nudging the baby away to not drink off of their bag is normal because other lambs will try and come up and steal milk, but for her to be headbutting and ramming him into the wall of the sheep shed and really being pretty aggressive with him, I made the decision that we were going to have to give him a bottle and try to maybe reunite them later if the occasion were to arise. So over the next couple of days, I continued to harness the mom and tie her up, and I decided to milk her a little bit so that he could have some of her milk, because I know that that's the best for him. And like I said, her udder was completely full, more than sufficient for 2 lambs. again, she was not thrilled about this because we don't have that bond or connection yet. So this was a lot of stress on Mom, a lot of stress on me, if we're being honest. So after a couple of days, I just kind of caved and decided, you know what, I can't spend several hours a day trying to get a hold of her, trying to milk her, to feed this baby. There's just too much else going on the farm right now, and we have lots that's coming up. So I decided that we're just going to strictly bottle feed the baby, but we're going to do it by leaving him outside in the pasture with the other sheep so that he can still learn to be a sheep. Unfortunately, he just sees me as his mom now and knows that I'm his source of food. The connection between him and his mom has not rekindled as of yet. I'm hoping that maybe one day she'll come around and tag him on, but we have committed to bottle feeding this baby, and that's where we're at right now. This one back here with her head down is the mama. This is Bammy. She had twins. This is her ewe lamb, which is a little girl who is not minding at all that everyone is eating their breakfast. She's just laying right in the middle of it, taking a nap. And then she also had a ram lamb, which is our little bottle baby, who I have been calling Lammy. Come here, Lammy. Come here. I'm right here. I'm right here, Lammy. Come here. Come here. Here he is. Here he is. Hi, Lammy. Hi. This is Lammy. Isn't he cute? How could his mama turn him away? I don't know. He's just so sweet. Oh, he's sweet. So, this little guy stayed inside with us in a pack and play for the first couple of nights. And then we decided that we'll just do a really late night feeding and a really early morning feeding so that he can stay out here with his sister and with the rest of the flock. So again, maybe he can learn how to be a sheep. And he's been doing good. He's been doing a good job. We've decided to go ahead and band him to make him a wether, meaning that he will not be an intact male anymore. And we're doing that because he is so friendly and lovey. And you don't want a friendly, super lovey ram because when they are bigger, they have those hormones going, and they want to get friendly with you, and it could be pretty dangerous. So we have decided to make him a wether. His future was supposed to be a freezer lamb to help feed our family. And we're hoping that maybe that's still the plan. Oh, I know. I don't know how that's gonna work out. We'll see. But we did get all of these sheep in hopes that we would be able to have an extra source of meat provided here on our farm. We're not planning on having to bottle feed one and it becoming our baby. So you guys are just gonna have to follow along and see what happens, because we don't really know what the plan is right now either. We're just kind of going with it. Thankfully, the other sheep have tolerated him and all of his nudging, trying to find milk on them. And he has gotten head-butted a little bit here and there, but that's a natural pecking order, I guess you could call it, for sheep. So I have high hopes that he will continue to grow up and can live a happy, healthy sheep life. Once he is of butchering age, we'll kind of make that call when the time comes. He is still profitable to a farm, or our farm, as a wether because he is a wool sheep, and the type of wool that he can provide is highly sought after in different fiber arts and that kind of thing. So if he didn't make it to the freezer, he could still contribute to our farm. So I guess it's just a waiting game at this point. In other sheep news, I have been setting up this Premier One electric net coming out of the sheep pen here, because if you've seen some of our last videos, the plan is to not keep them on this plot of land. This was just our driest, most available spot of land in this current season, but we actually have a lot more pasture back behind me that you can see that we plan on running them in once we can get the drainage right on it. But I don't want to keep them locked in this pen until that time comes. So I've started training them to this Premier One netting by putting it inside of their big pen and turning it on so that they can start learning to respect that fence. I have started letting them come out of their pen and kind of do a little bit of roaming pretty close to their pen. And today I have it set up in a chute that goes down and up the side of the pen so that they can help me clean the grass off of the hot wire line that runs around the perimeter of the fence. I've just been switching the wire of the IntelliShock charger here from the perimeter fence line over to the netting fence. And so that way I can use the same charger, and the perimeter fence line doesn't need to be on during the day because we're here and nothing's getting through that barrier there. So now they have some access to more fresh grass that's out here. I do start their mornings off by still giving them their grain that they've been used to and a couple of flakes of hay onto the ground so that they can kind of fill up their bellies before they get out here on this fresh grass, because they're not used to it yet. And with your rumen animals, you have to be kind of careful about switching them over back and forth so quickly. If they're not used to that especially. So as they fill up on this hay, they'll probably come out and roam around the perimeter here and just kind of see what's going on out here, and hopefully help us do a little weed eating. In addition to our new baby lambs that we have here on the farm, we have just had 2 litters of bunnies that we are trying to do a little more hands-on raising so that we can sell these 2 litters for others to have as either breeders, or if they want to learn how to get into meat rabbits, these are a great source for that, or if they just want a pet. So there is a lot going on here on the homestead, and I hope to pick the camera up and bring you guys along and keep you guys updated as the season goes forward. This is a super busy season for me, but I do love sharing it with you guys. So if there's anything in particular that you guys are interested in seeing as the season goes on, please leave that in the comments below. I hope that you guys will subscribe and stay tuned to all of the upcoming adventures here on the homestead. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Bye.